Hey guys, we're here for the second video. Last week we talked about the W-2, all the parts of the W-2, and what to look out for on that. This week I wanted to touch another topic that might be affecting some people or causing confusion, and that is about your tax liability versus the tax refund tax due at the end of the year. Now, I think a lot of people get confused. A lot of times people talk about, oh, my taxes are so much higher this year, they're less this year, I got a bigger refund, and they kind of confuse what is owed versus what they actually incurred as a liability for that year. Now, your tax liability, that's figured out by taking all your gross income, subtracting some above the line deductions to arrive at your AGI, and then factoring in either the standard deduction or itemized deduction, and then a few different credits and taxes. That will get you to the taxable income number that you're looking for, and then you apply the progressive tax schedule to that. That comes up with your tax liability. Now, what is due or refunded to you at the end of the year, it comes from what you've already paid in for that year. So your withholdings or estimated payments. Maybe you have overpaid a different tax, such as Social Security taxes or Medicare taxes. That's what really comes down to that difference there between your tax liability and your withholdings determines what your refund is. Now, that was a big deal this past year with the new tax law because as those changes came into effect, the majority of Americans actually saw their tax liability decrease. But they also saw their tax refund decrease. And the reason for that is because the majority of Americans have their taxes withheld through their W-2. And what affects that is your W-4. Now, they didn't adjust the W-4 enough to reflect the updates into the tax law. So what that actually caused was a lot of under-withholding on behalf of individuals this year and last year. And that's something to look for coming up this year. Maybe you think it's going to be better than last year, but that W-4, unless you changed it, is remained intact. And that's something to talk to your payroll company about, your payroll department about, to see what did you owe last year and what amount did it go down by, and try and figure out if you can smooth that over the next few paychecks. It's just something to look for. When you're looking at your tax return, look for that tax liability line and see how that compared to your prior year. That's going to give you a determination of whether your actual tax liability went up or went down that year. And it's going to give you a bit better idea whether you're actually owing more taxes or did your refund / taxes owed go up or down because of your withholdings amounts. So I hope that helps. If you liked it, take a like. Comment if you have any questions, and reach out to me if you want to connect. Thanks, guys.